All right, let's see what's going on. Sorry about that, guys. It seems like I might be getting on a little bit later than I would normally like to, but I'm in upstate New York, and on occasion, we have challenges with going live. But I do see that my live should be live now, which is good. I do have the tab that says live or the little red tile, so here we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Normally, I'm with Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, and if you're a foodie fan, you might want to subscribe to that YouTube channel too. You can see an example of how Joe's does really good content marketing, and it's part of our Omnichannel strategy, which I'm going to introduce to you really quickly today. And in next week's live coaching session, because I do live coaching sessions here every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and as long as there isn't a tech glitch, there will be a replay. So, and so if you're not able to watch live, hashtag replay. I'm always curious. Put that in the comments down below. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. I'm curious to see who's watching live, like those I might see, but then who comes during the replay. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the comments section down below now while we're live, and definitely on the replay as well. I do try to check back at least a day or so after the replay is posted on my channel. Ooh, okay, so I got, hey Susie, what's going on? Let me start greeting people. Hi, the Speckled Balloon by Susie B. Hi, Nicola Cousins, what's going on, girl? And hi, Bridget from Personal Space Creations. And don't forget, you guys, thumbs up, both live and on the replay. If you could give me a big thumbs up, that really would help me out, because it is going to push things out to people while I'm live. It will ping people who are already my subscribers, and I'm at almost 1,500. And it'll also be more likely to put it out in the feed of my subscribers on the replay, and also it'll be more likely, it meaning the YouTube algorithm, will be more likely to do some matchmaking activity in suggested. So it might show up on somebody's homepage or as a suggested thing. How's Barney and his family too? And how am I feeling? Okay, so really, really quick, because I do have a doctor's appointment to go to. I'm up to 4 specialists now. I'm fighting like mad to stay healthy. It is really hard. And there's a lot going on. I won't burden everybody because that's not why you're here. But I will say that I am feeling better than I was several days ago. Hey, Miss Lisa Garrett, let me say that. In terms of Barney's family, because Barney is my video editor. So if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe, because usually under normal circumstances, when I'm not pushing myself in and out of hospitals and medical clinics, I not only go live here every week on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but usually, typically, you'll see a couple of edited videos on this channel too. Might be Monday, Tuesday, and also Thursday, Friday, and Wednesdays live in the replay. But Barney got really sick, and so did his family over in the Philippines. They got well, Barney was negative for COVID, but he still had like flu-like symptoms. His mother, I believe, was positive for COVID, but very, very mild. And then also his father, who's in his 70s, he got it really kind of bad. He was in the hospital, but thank God he survived it. So he's back. And I think as of now, the time that they needed to convalesce as a family and just to quarantine to protect everybody else just in case is over. So Barney had COVID really bad and was in the hospital 2 weeks last year. And I was really freaked out and nervous for him. That was bad. And he and I talked in Slack a lot. So I'm very glad and grateful that he's okay now. His mom was challenged, but she's okay. And the father is on the mend. Hey, Stories and Stoneware, what's going on? What's going on, Andrea? Is that you? What's going on, girl? All right. So that's enough about me. So I have to go to a doctor's appointment, and being in upstate New York, that involves travel on top of when I'm supposed to be there. So I can't go on and on like I normally would. Normally, if you're watching this live or on the replay, especially if you haven't subscribed yet, normally I'm good to be on here for approximately an hour to an hour and a half. But I do have to watch my time, and there is something that I do want to teach. And then if you're a student of mine in any of the student groups, you can certainly post and discuss more stuff in there. And also, if you want me to give you a shout out right now, let me know. What are you doing for your business this week? Okay. I know that a lot of my students, whether it's products, services, or a bit of both, they're all crazy busy. They normally would be. November, December is a lot of shopping and a lot of business. So unless you are just brand spanking new and you just launched your business, you're probably like my more experienced beginners going into intermediate phase as I teach, and intermediates and advanced. They're insane. They're insane. I thought it was you, Andrea, just up earlier getting my collection launch going. I'm glad that's going on. What's the name of your collection? Let us know about it. Susie B, Nicola, I know you guys have stuff going on. Bridget, you always have stuff going on with your husband, with the two separate businesses that you have going on. One's B2B and one's B2C. So I'm really proud of you guys. So let me know what's going on with your business. I highly doubt that any of my more advanced students, like at or near six figures or above, are going to be able to attend live, because I know from speaking to some of them in the background, they're just going crazy. And I'm very, very proud of them. So who is launching a new collection? Who is retiring a new collection? Who is running a sales promotion? Or are you just so busy that you're like, whoa, I don't even have to run a sales promotion. I'm like maxed out filling orders. And in some cases, some people talking to me behind the scenes, they're running out of stuff already. Well, of course, because supply chain issues, even if you guys are fine, like my products-based business people, I have coaches, I have course creators, I have gamers, I have other types of influencers, I have brick and mortar, I have food service establishment. I've been, all sorts of business models do I coach. And I have coached for now it's like over 8 years. So I have thousands of students under my belt between one-on group coaching, one-on-one when I used to do that back in the day, one-on group courses and all sorts of stuff. And by the way, if you're watching this live or on the replay, Funnel Dynasty, which should be my biggest course, it will be like the one course that I launched for this year new. And I have no plans to launch something new necessarily next year. I think Funnel Dynasty is where I'm going to be focusing all of my attention. I think even after I'm done with the first launch, like a couple weeks after that, a major influencer is going to do another launch to her list for that course. So it's only going to be at the introductory price of $997 upfront. Yes, there will be a 12 pay for that. After that, it will go immediately to $1997 because it has to be for that individual. And it has to be after that because it's too big of a course. It's going to have too much. I'm going to be folding in stuff to that throughout the end of the year. You're going to get all sorts of examples of how to do the kind of omni-channel marketing that I'm going to teach you to do, and how to phase yourself into it if you're a beginner / solopreneur versus intermediate versus advanced. If you don't even know what those things are, once Funnel Dynasty launches, we even go through what those things are and the specific business plans and benchmarks that I think you need to get to before you're out of beginner and intermediate and intermediate to advanced and advanced, how you continue to scale to the moon. I now have 2 7-figure clients under my belt and several 6-figure clients under my belt, and then a whole bunch of people that are multiple 5 and pushing into 6 figures now. So Andrea of Stories and Stoneware is launching her Dragon Cord collection, gold and silver mugs, and I sold 3 already. I don't doubt it, and that's a new launch. The Speckled Loon by Susie B says, had another good in-person event last weekend. Yes, for some of my product-based people, they're going to be doing those in-person events again. Working on some extra orders from that, then prepping for my next show. Good. Bridget says, the bonus of being CMO and working from home is that I can watch you and still work. That is, I love multitasking. I have to do it all the time. Andrea from Stories and Stoneware says, had some customers find the link before they were supposed to. I love when that happens. I love when that happens. You know that you have a really good brand community going when they just can't wait. Even with Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, we had people placing orders for our little turkeys, our JDB little turkeys for Thanksgiving. We had them because that was a huge launch like 2 years ago. We sold thousands of them. We had to hire people and have graveyard shifts to keep up with hand making these edible crafts. And then the last year, it was a huge seller too. And then this year, before November even hit, we had people saying, here's my Halloween cake order, and I want JDB little turkeys, and I'll pay you right now. because obviously you're hiding under a rock if you haven't heard through the news or anywhere else that there are supply chain issues. It's hard to get ingredients. It's hard to get materials. It's hard to be able to even get bottles and shipping containers and stuff like that. Like boxes and packaging and stuff. Like it's just, so people are just jumping it really hard now. So Bridget says we're doing a major pivot, but slowly. Good girl. So that it really ends up being finalized in January, because both of your businesses have traffic. So don't freak everybody out. We finally have 2 working lasers. Okay. And Darren trained on that. That's good. And working on getting the 3rd laser up and running. Cool. That's the one he's probably training on. She says we are going to do aromatherapy jewelry and all of our laser cut designs, but we are switching to aromatherapy jewelry from the fine aromatherapy jewelry to more of a boho niche. Oh my God, Bridget. And I know you're going to get into Funnel Dynasty when that opens. And we are shooting for Friday if we can. Otherwise, it's going to be Saturday or Sunday. It just depends. We are going to have the cart open this week. It will close next week, and that's that at the $9.97. One of the examples that I give, I swear to you, this is going on because I'm still shooting material and I'm still going to build the course for the next 2 weeks, which is why I'm selling the course at half off right now. Because you literally, just to reward you guys for your patience, you're going to have to be there as I go 1 to 2 modules a week for like 2-3 weeks, and it'll be 7 modules in total. And then we'll have some bonuses available immediately and some before the end of the month. But in the meantime, we're going to have the big launch with the influencer. I think she's shooting for November 27th, but it'll already be at $1,997. We'll have a 12 pay for that, but I think the 12 pay is going to be $247 a payment, which is like, whoa, get it at half price all you can. But the boho design, the boho jewelry design is an example that I give. Because in the course, I'm not just teaching stuff, and I'm not just having like a bunch of PDFs and worksheets. Although some people are like, if I don't have those, I have a hard time putting into practice what I'm learning. Some people need like the worksheets. Other people are like, nah, that's just homework, and I learned from the course and I'm good. Or a couple of tweaks and I'm good. And don't forget, Funnel Dynasty comes with weekly one-on-group coaching sessions where I'm not just going to be talking at you. I'm going to want people to go, do a spotlight on me this week. Everybody, I want you to critique the website. Everybody, if I have a blog, critique that. Is it going to be good converting? Why? We discuss in Funnel Dynasty how to make everything convert like a funnel, whether it's a YouTube video, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a blog, whether it is social media content and is it keyword based and hashtag based, and how you figure out what you need to do to be able to get people into and through your marketing funnel with literal like swipe files, examples, or all sorts of stuff. But in that course, I'm going to be layering in as I go examples. Is it Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill? Is it a jewelry-based example? Is it, what was the other one? Ooh, I'm going to start like a faux business, and I'm going to show you like literally from scratch as a beginner, because I can talk about my own coaching business, but that's more advanced and where it's at. And including the platform and any sort of omni-channel experience. I could also show you Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, but they're 7-figure. They're a brick and mortar, which some of my students have that going on. And they're food service. And I do have some students, especially from past years and some even current, who come and they look at my stuff and or buy my courses and apply it to driving traffic to their food service business so they can do more business. But you're going to have little over the shoulder, like how I build something beginner. I'm going to show you a more intermediate example. And then I'm going to show you advanced with Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. And I don't know if the other 7-figure, client that I do some coaching for will let me show some of her stuff, but she might down the road. She might. Let's talk to her about 2022. I want to get everything knocked out for 2021. Hey, Amy Lindblade, what's going on? Want to greet you. What's going on with your business, Miss Amy? And Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, let's talk about where they are on TikTok, and then I'm going to get you into what I want to teach super quick. I'm just going to introduce the concept. Ooh, Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, you may not be able to see this here. On TikTok, they are at 824,100 fans or followers on TikTok. We launched our comfort food clothes collection because a lot of the requests that we're getting, we're not rigged up all tax wise yet to do international sales. So right now we're only processing American sales, but we have an email list that's getting towards 10,000 people. So when we launched it via email and social on like Facebook and through live streams and stuff, that was a very nice launch. Of course, with supply chain issues, that can be a little challenging, but we now have that. Bridget says, my upcycled line of jewelry is such a different one from the fine jewelry. So Darren is focusing on the laser, pun intended, and I get to do more aromatherapy jewelry. And I think like the boho vibe is really good. And there are people who are willing to spend good coin for boho. So if you've got like an up-leveled kind of chic boho experience, I do think that that will go over very, very well, which was why I was going to use it as like a more intermediate-esque example of a lot of the things that I teach. Not every lesson is going to have an example, but a lot of them will. And you'll be able to see like not just what I'm teaching all up in the air, and not just with PDFs or worksheets or swipe files and templates everybody loves, right? So there's going to be a lot of that going on. But you're going to get examples wherever possible to show you like in the trenches, like fine grain, how I apply this stuff. And as time goes on and I get more examples, I can layer in more examples. So you can see jewelry versus food service versus coach course creator versus an influencer business model. Because over the last year to 2 years, I've gotten a lot of gamers and influencers to become students of mine as well. Okay, so I don't see anybody else posting anything. And all right, so let's talk about omnichannel, the omnichannel marketing kind of experience. I'm going to introduce it this week, and I can't stay for as long as I normally will, but it's good to like introduce it, let it marinate. It is part of what I teach in Funnel Dynasty. But I can at least give you guys like a bit of a taste of what it is. And some of my more experienced students might know some of this stuff, but I do want to talk about it now. And if people post comments live or on the replay going, but how, or I have questions, or I'm a solopreneur, so how do I pull this off until I make enough money that I can reinvest back into my business to get more expensive software, maybe, or to get an independent contractor and or a part-time to full-time employee, maybe. Because if I'm not mistaken, any of my advanced students, they all have some or all of those things I just mentioned going on. They can no longer do this stuff themselves. They will not be able to fulfill orders, do customer service. You know, even if they're digital product space or coaching, there's only so much time in the day, right? There's only so many one-on-one slots or so many one-on group coachings that you can do. You know, you're creating courses and then marketing those and adding to them and updating them. Like every different business model has its pluses and minuses and its challenges, even when you're a solopreneur, even when you're intermediate, you're kind of making more money and starting to reinvest back into your business. And then advanced, there's nobody at or near six figures or beyond that is doing this all themselves. I'm trying to think of all the students that I have that I know, especially over the last 2-3 years, that fit that mold. No way, no way. And some of them do have teams. There's no way that they can. And I'm not even looking at Joe's or the big coach that I have. Good coin for both upcycle and boho, and the fine-tuned niche is very close. Yeah, so you should be fine. Pivot gently. Don't pivot too hard. You guys may or may not have seen an example of one or more people who pivoted way too hard, way too fast, and their audience wasn't ready. And it was like, whoa, you don't want everybody to be in a state of shock, right? So you do want it to be gentle and you want to phase certain things in and out. If I'm not mistaken, I know that Onika Ben Schwartz was one of the students who came to me in she came to me in summer 2019, but by like January 2020 in the champagne batch of frosting, right? Got my live with Frosty's cup here. We had talked about the fact that she did have a good chunk of regular customers and she didn't want to alienate them, but she did want to pivot to something else where she knew she could charge more, but even with less sales, she'd still end up making way more money and she could reinvest into her business and scale and grow from there. So, you know, it was all about, you just don't jettison the old crowd, right? You phase over. And some people may follow you anyway, even if they don't appear to be like a perfect fit or a perfect match. because you're always marketing to your ideal customer best. But then I have mentioned in the past the concept of right angle marketing, where you're going to have some people who aren't quite a fit, but they're still happy and they're still a good match. And you might be able to get them with your organic content marketing efforts if you're optimizing correctly. And we talk about several different modalities of optimization in the Funnel Dynasty course, by the way. I've introduced it in one or two of my mini courses, but we do a much deeper dive into those things in the Funnel Dynasty course. This is like you get everything. You get my everything in this course. There is no leaving anything out. You and Onika are the reason we are focusing and pivoting gently. Yes, Onika is from Design Pretty. And that was a very successful pivot. And in all honesty, and I know she's said this in one or more groups, so I'm not outing her. I know that she's still servicing the customers that were still coming to her anyway. If it ain't broke, don't fix. But that's not where she's focusing her content marketing. So you could sweep them into right angle marketing because they were kind of close, but not quite the cigar that she's ultimately gone to, which led her to be on the Design Pretty Beautiful Mess crossover collection that sold out like this on Etsy in 2020. That was amazing for her. And it's onward and upward from there. So yes, pivoting gently does make sense. If it's too much of a shock to the system, it can create a lot of bad vibes. You don't want to do that. So let's talk about omnichannel marketing. So this is not something that a beginner / solopreneur can do past a certain point. And I do want to put that out there because I know I've got some students that are going to watch this on the replay and then they're going to angst. This is something that you can start to lean into harder once you're intermediate into advanced, where you can afford to get certain software that, it is an investment. Like Later does have a forever free plan. I'm not going to drop an affiliate link for Later, but they do have a forever free plan. And you can leverage that up to a point, and it can certainly help you. But the paid plan, I'm not saying it's ridiculously expensive, but it's an expense. And if you're a solopreneur first starting out, you may not feel like you can swing that. And I understand that. But at some point, to get to intermediate and move through that to advanced, one of the things that you would do is, whether it's Later or something else, a paid solution that is either unlimited or the ceiling is really, really much higher. You can use that and lean into it more and batch create / batch record content and batch optimize it, batch publish it, or at least put it in a hopper. And then these auto post solutions can help you. Creator Studio is free, and I would totally recommend that if you have a Facebook business page and an Instagram business account, that you can link them together. The click by click you can find on YouTube. It's not that hard, but there is some to do about it. But you would just follow a YouTube video that will show you for free how to link these things together. It's not mind-bending, but it can save you a lot of time and effort. And quite frankly, through the Creator Studio is still how I would prefer to upload Instagram TV videos, formerly known as IGTV videos. I think it's just easiest. It's less glitch-free. It's basically glitch-free. And I love being able to do stuff from desktop or laptop. Amy says, based on the holiday season so far, I want to pivot as well. Many of my items are too labor intensive. Okay, so for my physical product-based people, and I know Renee Christine talked about this a lot when she was more handmade products-based back in the day. She was very much not encouraging anybody, and I don't think this is Amy, but I'll just say she was very much not encouraging anybody to do one-of-a-kind things because it's so labor-intensive. And yes, it can and should command a much higher price, but if you're not going and hitting the right niche with it, it's going to be hard to unload all or most of these things. And then you put a lot of time, money, effort, materials, bandwidth into them. They've got to go, right? And it's hard to scale. So for my coaches, what I always say is in the beginning, you need to do one-on-one. It's going to be hard for you to get enough people to really do one-on group anyway and pay your dues. But not to sound mean, you can't scale and grow past a certain period of time. Even if you lived in a one-bedroom, room that you rent, that you have a housekeeper for, and you don't have any family, no husband, wife, significant other, and not even a pet or a potted plant to take care of, you're never going to be able to scale and grow past a certain point. You can book yourself to the teeth as a coach, and you can't scale and grow. One-on group, you can totally scale and grow. Selling courses, whether or not they have corresponding Facebook groups, which, my stuff tends to have, that's another way to scale and grow, right? So I see a lot of people are on here right now on the live, which is cool. Just don't forget, it's like putting a tip in the tip jar. Hit the thumbs up button. It does help me. It's not so much for my ego. I could care less about that, but it's another data point for the algorithm to surface, the YouTube algorithm to surface, so that while I'm still live, it's more likely to ping people so that they can attend the live. And once it's on a replay, every time you guys comment or put #live or #replay, or even just give me like an emoji down below, that's another data point for the algorithm to surface, and it'll still push this stuff out to people who have subscribed to me already, and it might even put it out and suggested on someone's homepage or in their search results if there's enough engagement on this topic. So I really do appreciate that. So Amy, more specific to you, if your stuff's really labor intensive, that's hard to scale and grow too. It may not be one of a kind, so it may not be that, comparatively speaking, it's easier to move. But yeah, I would really, so this really quickly, and a lot of my regular students know this, what's the Stacey sales success formula? It's 3 parts, and you have to make these decisions in order when you're setting up or resetting your business model. Number 1 is, whom do you serve? You pick your niche first, and you narrow down that niche. Yes, to blow up. Yes, the riches are in the niches. These are hackneyed old phrases, but I promise you it's because they're true. They would have fallen out of favor if they weren't true. So the first thing you do is you decide on who your niche is. Who's your ideal customer? You can't decide what you're going to sell to them first. You can't, because you have to start with, whom do you serve? And then the second thing that you go is, before you even get to a product, a service, a one-on group coaching experience, a course, whatever, whom do you serve and what is their main pain point? People pay entrepreneurs to get out of pain and into pleasure and to solve problems. I don't care what business model you have, that's what they do. And ain't nobody paying you if you don't have a main pain point to help to resolve for that specific person. So who's your specific person? What is the one main pain point that they have? You can't sell to everybody. You end up selling to no one. And you can't be everything to everybody. You end up spreading yourself too thin. And it's tough to optimize for it too, right? So it's not just literally, it's also digitally. It's hard to optimize your content to be found in search and to be pushed out and suggested on YouTube or anywhere else if you're too broad. So you don't have to have just this one teeny tiny narrow thing, but you do have to have, who's your specific person. That's the first thing you decide. What is the main pain point that your business is going to help to alleviate? And then you determine how you're going to serve them, right? How do you get them out of pain and into pleasure with the products and or services that you're going to have as your paid offerings? So Amy, as you're determining what you're going to do for your pivot, see, I know that Bridget and Darren have this. I'm not worried about them. But as you're determining what you're going to do, what I don't want you to do is just strictly make a products-based decision or a services-based decision for my other business model students, or a paid offering decision regardless of your business models. Most students who have a hard time marketing, when they come to me, they are not following the Stacey sales success story in formula in order. And that gets things messed up. Because they have a fuzzy business concept. So when they market, it's fuzzy. No one finds them. And or if they do, it's so general that they're not buying anything from you. Or they're not impressed enough in you. You're not interested enough in them as a human being. Your content marketing has to show that. Everyone's favorite subject is themselves. And the second thing is, you have to show that you're interested in the problem that they're having. Everybody's favorite subject is themselves. What's their next favorite subject? The thing that's pissing them off the most. They will wax rhapsodic about that all day. So when you show that you understand who they are and you understand that main pain point and you optimize according to the pain point largely, um, and sometimes that dovetails in well with your product or service, but sometimes you're just attracting somebody who's very pain aware. And then they find that piece of content. It serves as a digital breadcrumb to bring them back to your business. And then they go, oh, it's like you totally get me. You either are me as the brand leader or the business owner, or at least you super understand me. If you don't, then I'm not interested enough in you. Hold on just a second. Ow. Okay. How do I do that? Oh, hold on. So if you have any questions about anything I just said, please let me know. In the meantime, let me just log into something over here because I have somebody overseas who's trying to do something. And then I do have to run in a few minutes. Omnichannel marketing in the meantime means that like you need to create a digital ecosystem that if you understand who you're selling to, you understand all the places that you need to be. And a beginner can only really do 2, maybe 3 things in the beginning because they're new to their business, they're getting traction, they're getting they're getting up and running and starting to get into profitability. We hope, right? Hold on. Right? And eventually they start making enough money that in a fiscally possible and fiscally responsible way, they can start investing into their business. They can start, they can start maybe even hiring somebody, even if it's an independent contractor or a very, very part-time person. And then they can start to scale and grow from there. I don't see what he's, okay, hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, let me do this. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay, now I think I've gotten him in. Okay, cool. All right, so anybody have any questions for me about this? Okay, no. So we're all in a good place. So when you're deciding to set up a business, reset your business, restart your business, or pivot, please understand who you're going to serve first, Amy and everybody else. Then understand what's the main pain point that I'm going to help these people with. And then that determines the nature of your products and or your services if you're a coach or a course creator or something like that. Because you know what? People aren't going to be interested in you and your business and your offerings if you're not interested in humans just like them and you don't understand the pain that they're in. And you can't show that during a live stream, in a video, in a podcast, in a blog post, in the captions that go with corresponding Facebook or Instagram feed posts, or even a very well written, like pinned description that serves as like a little mini blog post on Pinterest. Marissa Parsons, what's going on, Miss Marissa? Hello. Okay, so I can't stay too much later. But that is something that I really want you guys to keep in mind. It's something that I really want you guys to keep in mind when you're doing a pivot. Omnichannel marketing means that you have like a digital ecosystem that's up and running that when somebody like finds you on maybe the top 2 social media platforms that particular ideal customer would want to be on. You have to understand that ideal customer. Again, remember, we start with the person you're serving, then their pain point, then how do you get them out of pain and into pleasure with your offerings? You take any of those pieces out of order, you're not going to know how to set up an appropriate omnichannel marketing / digital ecosystem based experience. So when somebody finds you, let's say Instagram is where your person is a lot of the day, and that's a more mature platform, but you can still get really good traction on Instagram if you know what you're doing. And then they also love TikTok. Maybe they're a millennial to a super younger Gen Xer. These people are still in their prime. They still have a lot of disposable income. And they can be sold to. And they have plenty of needs that need to be addressed, right? Who's got kids, who may have grandkids because their kids had kids young, who's taking care of elders, who's got everything on their plate, right? And they are in their prime and they should be making money. But so a lot of those people might be on TikTok as well. And that's a great growth platform. Again, Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill is on the march to 830,000 people, probably before the end of the next week, if not higher. And I still predict that by the beginning of next year, if not the end of this year, we'll be to 1 million followers on TikTok. It is a fantastic platform for growth when you know what you're doing. But the omnichannel experience that you will have, let's take Joe's, for example, okay? Facebook, a lot of our people are on too. So whether they find us because of a post on Facebook that gets suggested out in their feed, or they're searching up on something and our Facebook page and or our Facebook group comes into their search, or they're searching on ice cream in a local or regional area on Instagram, so they pull that up, or they want to see extreme foodie fun that's ice cream based, they're going to see us on TikTok. And or based upon their consumption, their content consumption habits, we won't show up on following because they're not following us yet on TikTok, but we'll be pushed into their For You page, right, as a suggestion. So search suggested following. Once they step into our digital ecosystem, they should want to binge our content because we have content that shows them we understand a foodie like you. And if you're at all inclined to come to our brick and mortar, we can give you, as our slogan goes, over the top food for over the top memories with the ones that you love. We are pitching mostly to millennial moms who are driving their kids around like mom's taxi after work or whatever, and after school, and they have to feed them on the run. And it might be nice if they could have fun memories, whether they want to, document them with videos or pictures with selfie-worthy food, like our freak shakes, like our Monster Burger, and other hot seasonal things that we sell in collections that we launch and retire, just like a lot of you do if you're students of Renee Christine and, Handmade Titan University, right? We just have edible products, right? So once they come into Facebook, they're going to want to look us up on Instagram. They're going to want to see if we're on TikTok. They're going to want to see that we're on Pinterest. They're going to want to see, do we have our own website? We better, because 80% of people will not shop from you if you don't have a website. If your website doesn't work, or it sucks, or it's super outdated, that number will drop. You'll have 60% of people decide not to buy from you that day or ever, right? You never have a second chance to make a first impression. So your website, your social, Pinterest, YouTube, our people, we can get away with not having a podcast right now, but we do research market research with respect to our ideal customer, not just to understand the demographics of her, because it's predominantly female, identifying as female, that has kids, traditional mom stuff, running around after work, bringing these kids back and forth to after school activities. I want to feed them while we're on the run, or even on weekends when we're in league, whatever. When we post stuff, it's family friendly, it's foodie fun. Once you're in our digital ecosystem, the more you look around, the more you see. So no matter where you are, it's omnichannel, it's everywhere. And there are certain experiences that you can share back and forth depending upon what we're doing or launching or whatever. There are certain experiences that you can share between platforms. There's certain things that are unique to each platform. Every single platform, with maybe one exception, and we're changing that over, the link in bio is to the email list. Because when you are looking at an omnichannel experience, it's like an old-fashioned Western wagon wheel. So imagine the circle. All the connection points where the spokes are all the different places that they can find us. And then they slide down the spokes of the old West wagon wheel by getting onto our email list. And it's going to take them to our email list, and then ultimately the way to buy from us. And increasingly, we're having a lot of online sales. Comfort Food Clothes aside, because that's our new sister company. There are a lot of people who will order takeout and delivery, and we either don't see them at all because it's a delivery person, or they come and they go, and that's it. So even we have a central place that we want them to go, which ideally would be our website. They can also find us on Grubhub. So if they're not going to come brick and mortar wise, we still want to get online sales from them, as do any of you, because while some of my students are food service, most of you are not. So if you're a product space and you can ship anywhere in the world or close to it, you can make so much more money than Joe's does. And we're a 7-figure business. And that's before Comfort Food closed. I'm curious to see how we'll be doing this time next year. But does that make sense to you guys, like conceptually speaking? I certainly hope that it does. So when you're a beginner, this is just like an aspirational goal for you. And I want you to know that I know that. You need to get proof of concept for your business model. You need to make sure that the Stacey Sales Success Formula, you've knocked out all 3 things, and that it's an order, and it's an order of importance. Because if you decide on what you're selling and then you try to like reverse engineer to determine who you're going to sell it to, and you're going to try to like retrofit it or kind of put a square peg in a round hole, whether you realize you're doing it or not, you could be crocheting the most beautiful items on earth. But if you don't know who it is that you're selling to, right? And you don't understand not just the demographics of them, but their psychographics. And if you don't even know what that is, you need Funnel Dynasty a lot. And if you don't know how to determine those things or how to weave it into your content marketing, you're going to need the Funnel Dynasty course. But all I can say is demographics and psychographics woven together help you to understand your ideal customer as a 3-dimensional person. But understanding them is only half the battle. How do you work that into your optimization to get the right eyeballs on your stuff? Not everybody's going to buy your stuff. I don't care if you have 1 million views on something. If only 2 of those people were ever going to want to buy from you, you're having a forest trees issue. I care less about the size of your platform past a certain point. Yeah, it's good for social proof. Like I enjoy TikTok, for Joe's Dairy Barn Grill. That helped to birth Comfort Food close. We're already making money off that. And yes, it does drive people regional, countywide, locally to us more, because if they weren't thinking about us before, they are now, because their kids, their grandkids, their friends, and their neighbors are like, yo, you need to go to Joe's. And if it's been a bunch of years since you've gone to Joe's, you need to see the things that they're doing, and they do have seasonal things, and they are open all year round. They're not a seasonal ice cream stand anymore. TikTok is only valuable to me if I can make money, right? And they are coming out, they are beta testing with ways on TikTok for you to be able to make money while people are an app. Okay, so that feature has already been tested for weeks and weeks and weeks. I can't wait until we can get it, because we can get people to buy our merch through our website for Comfort Food Clothes. So, it's nice to have an omnichannel experience that no matter where your people go, they should see you at least in all the main places that they would expect that you would be, and or that they hang out on a lot. And yes, it is good if you can leverage Google, the world's largest the world's largest search engine, and leverage YouTube, which by the time you're an intermediate student of mine, you should have a YouTube channel and you should be putting up a video a week at a sheer minimum. YouTube values consistency. If you're inconsistent, they don't like it. So even though I'm sick and I'm struggling, I am going to at least come on once a week and do my live streams and post the replays until we can go back, between Barney, my video editor, and myself, because he's sick too. We can go back to putting up pre-edited videos as well on this channel. But at least I'm up once a week. You see what I'm doing? And I do have to cut loose to go to the doctor's office. I'm in upstate New York. Nothing is 5 minutes away from me. But I wanted to introduce the omnichannel concept. Like, think of the wagon wheel. What connection points do you really have to have, even as a beginner, the top 2 social media platforms that your people are on? So if they go on Instagram and they expect to find you on Facebook and you're not there, that's bad. At least try to have a digital ecosystem that once they step into it, they see increasingly more of a presence. They can pick the fruit of more trees by the time you're intermediate. You've got the YouTube channel. Maybe you've spread out to 3 social media platforms and the YouTube channel, plus whatever you have on your website, you're already looking very omnichannel, and you definitely have a more detailed digital ecosystem and an experience. You stay more top of mind. If you know how to leverage search and suggested, more stuff comes up in people's feeds, whether they're following you or subscribed to you or not. But by the time you're advanced, ideally, you have a presence on, let's see, your website's helping you with Google. You have a presence on YouTube. Probably you're up to 2 to 3 videos a week because you got a team by the time you're in advanced. And you should be leveraging Pinterest if you haven't yet, because Pinterest is the third largest search engine on earth, and it is the largest image-based search engine on earth. Okay, so Omnichannel takes a lot of work, and you're not going to get there immediately as a beginner. That's like expecting six-pack abs in a week to a month when you're morbidly obese and you've got to like start losing weight and feeling great, right? And being able to exercise more, right? And do aerobic and anaerobic work and workouts, and you need to like burn off that goo. It's going to take time. So the six-pack abs that an advanced student can get, a beginner isn't going to get there right away, and not by themselves if they're a solopreneur. This is something that you move across the spectrum into intermediate to advanced, and you start spreading out your like canvas of content marketing and publication and optimization, right? It becomes something that you do slowly over time. Ooh, Lisa McGlone. Hi, Lisa. You're still with us too. Goody. What's going on? She says, hi there. Do you think the social pin shortcut course would be good for something that a VA could go through and implement? Thanks, and hope you're feeling better. I'm working on it. So it is something that a virtual assistant could implement. Any course technically would be. Yeah, give them your login. That'd be cool. Because everything, the social pin shortcut course, which is the Pinterest deep dive course, we go through lesson by lesson, everything from concept to click by click, right? And there comes a point where there's some more advanced stuff that you will need coders for. The course isn't completely exhausted. There comes the point where Pinterest itself even says, hey, you're going to need a coder. This is probably too hard. We'll try to give you the code. You can do it yourself, but you may need to hire a professional. Even Pinterest in its help docs, even says that for some things, not most things at all. So you could do that with a virtual assistant if you want. Also, Lisa, if you're still there, in the social pin shortcut group, to be honest with you, two things. One, I was posting the daily help threads, and you can use the search feature in the group. Barely anybody was using them. And then also I even put a post in there saying, I don't know why it's a glitch with that group. The group is old. It's gone through different moderators. I don't know what's going on, but there was a point where I was posting help thread documents that were either getting rejected by Facebook. I complained about that. That got resolved. And then for some reason, they were putting it up as a sales post. Like, I don't know, you can sell things in different groups and stuff. And it was putting it up and saying this product, market is sold and stuff. And I was like, no, that's not it either. And it's not a problem that I have in any other group. So that's everyone's group. Y'all can post questions. Some people do, and I answer them, but it's a quiet group. And even when I was posting help thread docs every single day, Monday through Friday, I wasn't getting too many people. So, it's your group. It's not all Stacey Radio all the time. Got a question? Post it. I do jump in and out of my groups unless I'm in the hospital, in a medical clinic. I do check. Hey, Lori Lacewell. And Bridget says, and you're one of the biggest TikTok accounts, or at least close, right? So Lori Lacewell, I'll answer your question in a minute, and then I gotta go. When it comes to food service, the Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill TikTok account, they're my first of my now 2 7-figure successes that I have helped to coach. They are bigger. Their TikTok account is bigger than any Major League Baseball
account on TikTok. And they're also bigger than almost any NFL account and almost any pro basketball account. Almost. They're also bigger than individual sports stars. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Have fun. Look up Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill and put it to the test. We're also bigger than Burger King. We're also bigger than Chick-fil-A. We're also bigger than Ben & Jerry's and Carvel and Wendy's and all sorts of stuff. McDonald's surpassed us. There was a point in time where we were bigger than McDonald's, their global account. So yeah, but it has brought us a lot of business and traction. We were 7 figures already. We're having an even better year this year than we have ever before. So Lori Lacewell, are you on my email list, Lori? Do you get emails from me, at least a couple times a week? I tend to send it out to the list. Unless I'm in the hospital, then I'm not sending no emails from anybody. Because here's the thing that I would say. I sent out an email to my list back in August. I'd sent several emails saying, hey, updated login links for everybody. And then there was the final one where I said, this is the final master list. That was the title of the email. And every link to every course I ever sold was in there. And if you paid for it and you clicked on it and put in the email that you paid for, you would just have to set up a new login because it was moved from Renee Christine's ClickFunnels accounts to my ClickFunnels account. So it's different servers. So you had to set up a new login. But the new login had to have the email address under which you made your purchase. That is the key. And most everything, Teachable, everything uses this. The email that was tethered to your purchase at the time you made it must be the email that you use. Even if you're setting up a new login or resetting a login, the email always has to stay the same. The password you can change. So I sent out that master list with all the links in it back in August. And that took care of like 99% of the people. Had a couple of strays for a few weeks, and that was it. So check your email because that last master list, I think it literally says master list or something like that in the subject line, that had all the links to everything. And I made it clear, like, just because I'm giving you the links doesn't mean everybody can log into everything unless they paid for everything. You must use the email address that you made your purchases with. Yes, I get emails. So Lori, it's in there. You don't have to email anybody. But if you needed to email somebody, if you get my emails, then you can search on your emails. I'm sure you know how to do that to find the name of the email or just hit reply on an email. And all I'm going to do is just copy and paste that whole email and be like, boop, there it all is again. So that's that. So you'll be you have it. You have it. That thing at a near 100% delivery rate, as most of my emails do. So you have it. Just check or hit reply. And when I can, because I'm going to the doctors and that's going to take up a big chunk of my day without getting into it. So you are much, much better off finding the email, but not that one. Well, I don't know how. So just hit reply on an email. It'll send it to team@woman-101.com. And I will get to it once I'm back from the doctors. But it's a long haul there because I'm in upstate New York. And it's a long haul back. And it's not going to be a quick appointment. So I hate to leave you waiting. Please double check your email. I'm pretty sure it's right there. But if you hit reply and you're a little patient, I'll try to get to you before the end of today. All right? And that's it. And you got to stay on the email list because if there's any updates or anything like that, if you get off or unsubscribe, we scrub you and you can't get back on that list. Okay. So that'll be that. So if you can't wait, do search, use the search magnifying glass. It'll bring everything up for me. Right. And it's there. It really is there. But otherwise just be patient. Hit reply and say, I need the links. And I'm just going to paste all the links in there, that whole email. I'm going to copy and repaste it to you. And And again, you do have to set up a whole new login with that. But you must use the same email. You can change the password if you want. Also, if you have any bookmarks, Lori or anybody else, if you have any bookmarks, you need to delete them, or it's going to keep bringing you to the old Renee links and you're going to get messed up because it's just going to take you to ClickFunnels and you're going to be like, I don't understand. It's taking me to a ClickFunnels sales page. Why is it doing that? Daniela. Hi, Daniela. Good morning. I can't stay, but wanted to say hello. Capture replay. Busy reading for an art show in Dunedin, Florida. Thank you, Stacey. Hopefully you're feeling better. I'm working on it. I got to go to the doctors, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.